The wife of the commandant of the German concentration camps Buchenwald and Majdanek was most famous for her obsession with leather products made from human skin. She particularly liked skin with tattoos, from which, by her orders, gloves, lampshades, and book bindings were made. After the war, she was sentenced to life imprisonment. A dog named Pip, sentenced to life imprisonment for killing the governor's cat. USA, 1924. Children arrested for breaking racial segregation laws. They were playing in areas where black children were not allowed. USA, 1963. The scandal that shook Hollywood in 1921. Silent film star Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle was accused of a brutal assault on model Virginia Rapp during a party, an event that ended her life and destroyed his career forever. Fijian chief Udre Udre, the most gluttonous cannibal in the world. He ate nothing but human flesh and consumed no fewer than 900 people throughout his life. A severe natural disaster in Brazil in 2009, killing over 600 people. A dog named Leo stayed at his owner's grave for days. An American paratrooper, North Korea, 1950. A civilian collects drinking water from a puddle during a lull in fighting. Grozny, 1995. In 1835, Halley's Comet passed close to Earth, and 2 weeks later, Mark Twain was born. Later, he wrote, "I came in 1835 with Halley's Comet, and I expect to go out with it." And so it happened. Twain died on April 21st, 1910, the day after the comet passed again. Marilyn Lovell, wife of Apollo 13 commander, reads front page news, 1970. The knockupper, human alarm clock. This profession existed in England and Ireland during the Industrial Revolution until the 1920s. A harsh yet convincing form of punishment for violating military discipline was used on a Soviet guard ship in 1991. A former slave holds a rod that was used by planters to call slaves, 1939. Martin Luther King was arrested for demanding service in a whites-only restaurant, Florida, 1964. 11-year-old Grace Bedell from Westfield, New York, wrote to Lincoln, advising him to grow a beard to look more appealing and win a bet, which her brothers promised to vote for him if he did. A man tries to open the door to his cell in Kigali during the Rwandan genocide, 1994. The funeral of Emmett Till, who was lynched after a false accusation by a white woman. His mother held an open casket funeral to show the entire world what American racism was like. A beggar runs after the carriage of British King George V, 1920. Poverty drives the man so much that he competes with the royal horses in speed. Hector the Rat, France's first astronaut, 1961. A few hours before launch, Hector chewed through a bundle of cables transmitting information. After 8 minutes of flight, the animal safely returned to Earth. The collapse of a crane on the Al-Haram Mosque in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. 107 dead, 238 wounded. The crane belonged to the bin Laden family's construction company. A mannequin of an African American before a school, protesting the integration of black people, Texas, 1956. Ladies invite their suitors to the white dance, century-old etiquette, 1900. A heartbreaking scene near Svalbard, 1947. A polar bear cub clings to its lifeless mother after a hunt. The cub reportedly stayed in this position for a day and a night, crying and refusing to leave her side. A beluga whale weighing 1,102 pounds, Sea of Azov, 1956. A miner takes a photo against the backdrop of nature, USSR, 1991. Nebraska resident Audra Thomas photographs herself as a tornado approaches her farm, USA, 1989. Beauty pageant in Cliftonville, 1936. To ensure jury objectivity, the contestants' faces were covered. Don't be afraid, boy. Mommy's nearby. Italy, 1940. A dark chapter in Louisiana history. Under an 1848 law, children born to incarcerated black women became property of the state. Mothers raised them in prison until age 10, after which the state sold the children through newspaper ads. Veteran driver John Surtees refused to race this experimental magnesium Honda, deeming it a death trap. Rookie Joe Schlesser took the wheel instead. On lap 3, the car crashed and instantly incinerated. This photo shows Surtees driving past the inferno. Chinese laborers carrying tea bales, 1917. The office of a slave trader in Atlanta, USA, 1864. The first feminists, 1911. Chicago police prepare to extinguish a burning cross. The riots were triggered by an African-American family moving into a neighborhood previously inhabited only by white people, 1963. Future President of Lithuania, Dalia Grybauskaitė, working at a construction site, USSR, 1971. A woman mourns the tragedy of July 3, 1988, when the U.S. Navy shot down an Iranian passenger plane with 290 civilians, including 66 children. Pilots on a flight simulator, Russian Empire, 1915. Portrait of Louis XIII, created by the French king when he was 6 years old. The first time Che Guevara's name appeared in newspapers wasn't related to revolutionary events, but when he took a 4,000-kilometer motorcycle trip across South America. Ancient ruins of an indigenous civilization, Arizona, 1873. A 6-person bicycle racing against a train. In 1896, man often tried to compete with the dawning era of machines. The real, inglorious bastards. After WFU, most Nazis responsible for the Holocaust escaped punishment. But this group of Jewish men tracked them down for years across different continents and carried out vigilante justice on several hundred Nazis. Frane Salak, dubbed the world's luckiest man, survived 7 catastrophes, including train crashes, plane falls, and car explosions. After cheating death for a lifetime, he bought his first lottery ticket in 2003 and won £600,000. The dummy of ventriloquist Lester, accused of killing 3 people, USA, 1924. During the performance, 3 elderly women literally died of laughter. During the filming of Fort Apache, many scenes required specific weather conditions, and director John Ford paid a Navajo medicine man to give him weather forecasts. Several days they were accurate, but one day the medicine man said he couldn't predict anymore. When asked why, he said that an actor had taken his radio receiver. Declassified photo of a spy pigeon used by the CIA in the 1960s during operations in the USSR. These kinds of doors helped alcoholics of the past find the keyhole after their alcoholic procedures. Che Guevara with Bolivian soldiers before his execution, Bolivia, 1967. Geishas were initially men called taikomochi. Until the 17th century, they served as jesters to Japanese feudal lords, but this job gradually lost popularity. The first female geisha appeared only in the mid-18th century. A Northumbrian miner eating lunch after a long workday, 1937. He probably had similarly black lungs and did not live long. Harsh canned vodka for soldiers, 1950. The last known living Barbary lion, shot in the Moroccan Atlas Mountains in 1922, now extinct in the wild. On April 30th, 1956, 78-year-old U.S. Vice President Alben Barkley died in the Senate immediately after saying, "I would rather be a servant in the house of the Lord than sit among the mighty." Mother and child cooking in gas masks, French village, World War I. The photograph was taken aboard a British ship. These children, just rescued from slavery, 1868. The crazed stare of a shell-shocked soldier, World War I, 1914. Actress Marlene Dietrich kisses a soldier returning home from war. It seems that the guy on the left holding her up is enjoying the view, 1945. The world's first flying man, Otto Lilienthal. He died in 1896 when his glider crashed from a height of 15 meters. His last words before death were, "Sacrifices are inevitable." A notable four-year contrast of Abraham Lincoln during wartime in 1861 and 1865. The ambiguous pose of a Pompeian man who died as a result of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius on August 24th, 79 AD. Argentavis, possibly the largest bird to ever inhabit Earth. Joe Matani, a maniac who dismembered bodies, mixed human flesh with animal meat, and made burger patties to serve to customers in his cafe. In 1979, Brazil's military president João Figueiredo reached out to a 5-year-old girl for a propaganda photo op, but she refused. The shot became an iconic symbol of resistance against the dictatorship. In this provocative shot from the mid-1980s, Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar holds his young son Juan Pablo in front of the White House. Today, this photograph is used in Colombian schools during history lessons as an example of the corruption of the 1980s. In 1915, a Mexican student named Wenceslao Moguel survived 9 gunshot wounds during a firing squad execution in the Revolution. At night, he crawled to a church where he received help. Medical staff at a psychiatric clinic practice techniques for catching violent lunatics, 1903. Nikola Tesla peers out of his laboratory in Colorado Springs, 1899. A military trick by German General Lettow Vorbeck. The youngest soldier at the end of the line jumps into an elephant's foot, trampling the tracks. German East Africa, World War I, around 1914. A pearl diver on the Mississippi prepares for another dive. USA, 1938. Using an old fuel tank as a helmet, he could dive up to a depth of 21 meters in such an apparatus. Santa Claus spotted during the Croatian War of Independence, 1991. It turned out that the American command had planned to drop not 2, but 15 nuclear bombs on Japan. but the unexpected Japanese decision to surrender on August 15, 1945, halted the shipment of plutonium that was already on its way to Japan. Classes in a destroyed school, Angola, 1997. Stuntman Todd Green flies toward death, falling from an airplane wing. He was performing a complex stunt, transferring from the wing of an airplane to a helicopter during an air show near Detroit, USA, 2011. The uniform of Archduke Franz Ferdinand from 1914, whose assassination triggered the start of World War I. Excited girls at the First Chippendales Club, Los Angeles, 1979. Chippendales was a dance troupe, most famous for their male striptease performances. Circus elephants Kiri and Manny help clear the streets of Hamburg after a bombing. Germany, November 1945. Last Hope, a woman praying to an icon in a ward for HIV-infected patients. Russia, 1993. A dissatisfied Pole exchanges devalued banknotes after a denomination. After the exchange, he will receive one new banknote instead of 10,000 old ones. 1995. A test of the strength of a kiss on a lie detector. 1939. Peaky Blinders, members of a gang that terrorized Birmingham. 1903. A giant Ferris wheel at the World's Fair in Chicago. 1893, USA. Record photos of child prisoners in the German concentration camp Auschwitz, 1942. Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Hillary, the first to conquer Everest, 1953. Car washes in 1920s, USA. People resting on the lawn on a clear day in New York, September 11th, 2001. When Freddie Mercury died, he had 10 cats, and according to Deacon, he loved them more than anyone. An Australian soldier watches as a Japanese soldier prepares to detonate a grenade against his own head, choosing to go out on his own terms. New Guinea, 1942. On February 11, 1990, Mike Tyson suffered his first loss. Anal plugs were originally sold as miraculous remedies for headaches, pimples, and mental disorders. This is not sodomy, but a patient at an orthopedic appointment. Stunned by the beauty he saw, the orthopedist grabbed a piece of metal with his right hand while doing something unclear with the other. The residents of Borena near the Christian school await the appearance of the Virgin Mary, whom a few kids supposedly saw there the day before. Belgium, 1933. A hut in the Las Vegas Valley, USA, 1895. In 10 years, Las Vegas will gain city status. In 50 years, gangster Bugsy Siegel will open the Flamingo Casino, the first step towards becoming the gambling capital of the world. In 120 years, Las Vegas's McCarran Airport will serve around 50 million passengers annually. In case of war, evacuate the children, cover the windows, kill the cat. After the declaration of war in September 1939, the British killed over 750,000 pets, fearing there would be nothing to feed them. When asked about his health at 70, playwright Bernard Shaw complained that doctors kept predicting his death because he didn't eat meat. At 90, he quipped, "I'm doing fine. All those doctors who said I couldn't survive without meat are dead now." German man accused of associating with a Jewish woman. "I am a defiler of the race." Germany, 1935. Germany wins on all fronts. Inscription on the Eiffel Tower during the occupation. Children in trenches during the bombing of England around 1941. Polish athlete Stanisława Wałęsa won the 100-meter race at the 1932 Olympics, setting a world record. Only after her death in 1980, during an autopsy, was it determined by her genitalia that she was male, although she had both male and female sets of chromosomes. English language sign "Here was Forge," installed at the ruins of the city of Forges-les-Eaux, almost completely destroyed during World War I France, 1917. Spanish flu pandemic, 1918. It claimed around 100 million lives worldwide. People were terrified of this devastating disease. Whether this clip sparked joy, anger, or just a bit of annoyance, I want to hear your thoughts below. Stick around for part 2 coming soon. Please hit like and subscribe to support the channel. See you!